And once again, welcome back everybody. Welcome to some more Mechabellum. I want to apologize kinda. I missed a few days of uploads and yeah, it has been a busy week, and then when I was able to get away from that and try uploading some videos that I had made, YouTube was like, "Hey, you need to make your account more secure." What? You entered your email verification code? We're not gonna let you in anyway. You still need to verify your account. If you don't know, YouTube has some weird pop-up overlay thingy. I don't know how to describe it. That just goes in the way sometime, and you have to do some verification in order to get past. And it appears that has been broken, at least for me right now. Of course, I haven't given YouTube and with that Google my phone number anyway, so maybe that is the reason why. I guess I should probably not complain. Alright, that's enough doom and gloom. We are playing an absolutely awesome game, in my opinion, against Mr. Roger Roger over there. And yes, his icon, not icon, his avatar is a Star Wars droid, which makes perfect sense, in my opinion. He's also a fellow German, or at least he speaks German, so this was definitely a fun one. And yeah, we're gonna playing some Assault Marksman. Alright, let's start accelerating time here until we get to the end of the initial deployment. We can see that this is Rhino spec versus Elite spec, and we're starting with some pretty basic aggro combo in the beginning against leveled hounds, stormcrawlers and fangs, which I would say is definitely a strong combination of units. I really do not have the ability here to capitalize big on, getting an early tower, because there's just nothing fighting over there. All the crawlers got annihilated before they could even get close, and I'm gonna be on the receiving end of a very bad tower debuff, where under tower degradation the stormcrawlers are going to really shred me to bits, unfortunately. This is gonna hurt, like a lot. That said, this is against Elite spec, and Elite spec definitely has very, very, very good chances to win round 1. I'd say it's probably almost on par with Quick Supply spec. Almost. Here we have the subsidized steel balls, which is also going to allow me to somewhat easily counter the potential Rhino assault coming in. The opponent goes for a quick teleport. Yeah, I wasn't expecting him to go aggro with the storms, to be honest. He's going into more hounds, which is a perfectly reasonable move to make. Securing the flank, and I think he also was positioning quite a bit this round, so I'm going to start accelerating time. I've put my steel balls in this position, which should be good enough to catch any potential Rhino aggro. And these steel balls, if he had put them there, they could have done something against them. But he has decided to move them back. Storm's still there, he's not selling out of them. That's what I usually do when I'm aggro. I guess you can make a point for not doing that, honestly. Storms aren't... As long as... Storms are weird. If they are countered, they do absolutely nothing, and they are relatively easy to counter. At least by comparison of other units. Other units will at least do something, usually. And storms just completely don't work anymore if there's sufficient interception. So that is pretty weird, honestly. It basically looks like a repeat of the last round, but we do get some good XP on the steel balls because they are killing a leveled unit. It's only a chaff unit technically, but it is a leveled unit. Once again, I don't think I have the ability to last until these storms shred me to pieces. Well, as if the hounds and the fangs weren't enough already. And I drop another couple 100 points of health, but still in the green zone here. So, now it's time for a bit of backstory. I don't know if I had that game on, well, not stream, but if I had that recorded. I think I actually did. But I wanted to play Hound Carry, And I got completely and utterly obliterated by Marksman, Assault Marksman to be precise. So I decided, you know, this is a fun game against a fun opponent. Let's also have some fun. And here is the Assault Marksman. We do have all the necessary techs. We have the Assault mode, of course, Shooting Squad for chaff generation, because we're going to be spending our deployments on anything but chaff, in a way. At least a lot of deployments. Shooting Squad does take care of that. Range and Elite Marksman in order to get the range and the punch necessary to deal with even the big units. So, what does he do? Well, he did pick these phantom rays and put the sticky oil bombs on him. So that's going to really take the tempo out of this push, and these hounds are going to be mowing down units under the oil, no doubt about it. Also attack up from the opponent, and I would assume he's pretty surprised to see this sort of stuff here right now. You can see that this marksman is not really caring about the health of these enemy units, and we are definitely pushing a good amount here. We're also pushing on the tower back here. However, right now there is absolutely nothing shooting at these phantom rays. We do even get that tower though. Alright, let's watch these assault marksmen mop everything up. It's a pretty powerful tech to have here. Unfortunately, I don't think they can deal with this. They would have had to have range here. And that marksman already had a lot of damage, so no XP pinata on these phantom rays, but they also don't level. We finally get our rhino, and here is a expensive but probably worthwhile card. Remember that assault marksmen have half the range initially of normal marksmen, so kinda any bonus range you can give them is good range. At least that's my 2 cents on the matter. Now these at least have 80 meters of range, and that does actually mean they outrange hounds once more, otherwise they have the exactly same range. They do put a big block of HP in the way here, and some crawlers on the other flank, and my opponent is now going to do his move. He hasn't spent a penny yet, as far as I can tell. He's still choosing by the looks of things. Do mind though that if he spends 400 on getting the extra range, he can basically just afford some chaff here. Instead, I think he skipped. I don't see anything for him as far as cards go. And instead he went crawlers with impact drill and range on the hounds. I guess that is one way to spend your money. That does of course take very easy and quick care of my poor little crawlers here. The rhino also got wrecked. The marksman was able to deal with all the crawlers, but unfortunately the hounds still got it. We do now have the ability to kill this though. And I'm honestly not sure I would have continued leveling hounds in this state of the board. But then again, I was the same way when I first got wrecked this way. Yeah, looks like the opponent's gonna take a good win here. Because we're gonna be stuck on a level 2 tower while his units just have to move over, and we're stuck in oil. That is some annoying oil. It's like somebody looked at Warcrime Balkan and thought, can we have more of that? Just without the ability to ignite it on our own, but hey, there's enough sources of fire in the game. Speaking of, we do have fire here. Any of these, I think you could make an argument in this state of the game. I chose the additional deployment because if we're going assault marksman, chances are I won't be able to finish the fight anytime soon. But having extra deploys with assault marksman, because all you will be deploying is at most a unit that costs 150, that should be pretty good. We do have the ignition, the incendiary bomb, to the oil that already is present here. I sold these crawlers out of fear that they probably get replicated upon. He does have replicate on the bar, and there's no way I can catch up to these crawlers with levels on my crawlers anytime soon. And even if I do, if I were to put level 2 crawlers here, they'd kill them immediately and probably get a level of that, and then they're level 3 against level 2s, and I'm absolutely going to regret it. Maybe I will also regret not having shields this round, but then again, in aggro, shields, are they ever really worth it to block something like Incendiary? You kinda just die to it, if it comes to that. I was, however, able to also get range here, and the opponent is further investing into Hounds, a unit that, at least at the very moment, is thoroughly counted. There are some pretty scary crawlers here, but the Marksmen do have splash, and not just a little bit of it. That Marksman does have the health to weather the fire. And the Marksmen also won against the Crawlers, which means that they do no longer really have anything back there to kill them. So they are going to start moving up. Meanwhile, this Marksman has been clearing out the entire back, and it looks like this one's gonna be a solid win for me. Although, of course, since it's a solid Marksman and that's a pretty tall build, we will not really be in the business of doing giant level amounts of damage. Javelin is pretty expensive here, but the Wasp Swarm, like, my opponent has a couple of Fangs at this point as anti-missile. We both pack it, but I can deal with Wasps just with an Assault Marksman. There's one here, there's one here, one is missing in the middle, and if memory serves, I am going to put one around here. Meanwhile, in order to deal with my opponent's investment on the flank, I decided it's Rhino time, because few things get rid of crawlers as quickly as Whirlwind Rhino point blank. And then I have enough money to drop even more Assault Marksmen, throw one in the middle. It's also going to help break through here. The opponent sold the teched, but I guess now redundant XP Pinata, and instead is starting to transition into sledges. We see double tech immediately, even though there's only 2 packs of sledges here. Both, of course, leveled. And we'll see if that pays dividends. He's finally doing something against the very juicy unit clump here that you can annihilate with a sentry missile. Alright. Let's see. EMP sledges is the move for my opponent now, and I can definitely see them working, because if they ever do get to lock onto Marksmen, they are probably going to kill them. That was so much damage here. However, there is no anti-air, and the opponent does use his Wasps offensively instead of defensively. I did get to annihilate them, and the towers have gotten broken through. Without the oil, not much left stopping this army, despite the sentry missile hitting pretty hard. Even this Marksman survives by the looks of things. It does have its health now and is fast enough to dodge the missiles. Doesn't get a level, unfortunately. Now this is actually proper amounts of damage now.